Hi, Paul Hefty here. I want to talk about our evaluation methods, specifically what we call quality controls. This is simply different assessments to evaluate if what you're trying to achieve is actually being achieved. Let's take a look. So when we talk about evaluations, we're trying to do this consistent assessment of all the areas and all the people involved in the program. That's what we mean by quality controls. The three areas you need to evaluate every time are your student athletes, your staff, but also your staff. So we're going to pause the video here and just do a quick rapid fire workshop. Don't take more than a minute, but just write down what comes right to your head and list all the different examples of consistent evaluations that you can think of or have experienced. So go. All right. When we start to look at doing evaluations, I always like to start as leaders with your staff, which actually can be the same kind of rules and principles for dealing with your players, everyone in your organization. So number one, the reason we're doing this engagement is it gives ownership by your staff and by your players is critical for a healthy team culture. So again, if you're using that transformational leadership style, then you need to listen and learn so that you can evolve each year and make improvements. Number two, conflict is a natural part of the process. There could be some storming, some disagreements. As a leader, you need to be open to that and let it process and not emotionally respond. That's how you make real improvement. The feedback needs to be honest. Again, that's what we're talking about for those value terms, and that healthy team culture is for real trust, and to get real motivation, you need some honest feedback, which sometimes can create that storming phase. Number four, then, listen and reflect. That's the keys to your progress. So again, we've got to go through a feedback piece. This could be a storming, but it's the steps towards positive improvement and real trust and motivation in your program. So what we're doing, it's kind of a natural progression. I like to talk about this when I do consulting with programs. Is year one, if we looked at it from a yearly, that's your forming. It's what you want to do. And then there's normally usually a storming and norming phase throughout the season. So we start to do things at a pretty high level. The staff then determines after that what you need to do. And now we're going to go into year two, where we're going to go right into normalizing and start to perform it at a higher level. And the reason we can do that is now we're really becoming a transformational program and leadership style. The players now will transform the program through their leadership, and that's why then year three, you can go right into perform it at a high level and really start to evolve with everyone in the organization, because everyone's engaged and everyone is involved. So how do you do this? Some steps. Feedback is the key. We want to make sure we're doing constant type of evaluations and assessments so that we can get the feedback not only from the staff, but from the players, and find themes and ideas that can be kind of your focus points. Another key form is to use analytics, statistics, and there's key performance indicators in there that again will tell you what you need to improve on or need to emphasize or focus on. With the engagement, this is huge. The head coach, you as a leader, have to invite the staff to be part of this conversation. You don't want them to have to come to you. That's usually a negative reason they're coming. Step two, you've got to ask them, what are they having the desired roles they want? Remember, motivation is having fun, but also having a sense of worth. So again, we got to make sure that we're giving them opportunities to lead and be part of the process. Step three, then, you really need to listen as a leader and confront any conflict if you're going to involve. We, again, don't want to avoid situations. We want to take them head on. And then last is have a plan of preparation. Take that information and start to unify your vision and your program and start to give clear roles for your staff. And then lastly, kind of a new installation. I always talk about this, we can review, but then you can renew what you're doing to kind of evolve your system through some staff engagement, player engagement, quality control evaluations. So I want to pause here, and here's the template for your evaluation plan. Again, you want to list the different things that are going to happen specific in your evaluation methods from preseason to in-season and postseason. You can see we'll talk about student-athlete goals and then some evaluation methods. Then you've got your staff goals, their methods of evaluation, and then your self goals and your evaluation methods. So pause the video here, fill that out, and you'll have a good start in designing your evaluation system. Another great example here I used as a college football coach end of the season is we would do these individualized reviews. You can see we're not just talking about the sport. We actually start, because it was an academic situation at a university, their academic information and goals. Then we talked about football, and then we finished with probably the most important is kind of the life goals. We want to make sure what we're doing as a student athlete is working towards who we want to be after sport's done. A couple reminders here. You can click on the links here. The organizational templates are all right there. They're going to be in a PDF and then a Word doc form. So you can go ahead and copy the Word doc and make changes and type in and then copy that and paste that right into your portfolio. There's some also additional evaluation resources like the ones I talked about with the consulting, but here's from some other books and coaches. And then last, there's some checklists with your plan here. Reminder number 2, probably most important, remember it's safety first and then legal issues. So again, go back to your resources of legal issues in sport and make sure you're covering what you are responsible and what are your duties as a coach to do from a safety and a legal standpoint. You can see the textbook then has some, with SAVIC, some specific pages there, reference to class lectures. Again, using certified people in your organization like your trainers and then outside sources. Again, with every section, you want to think safety considerations first. Resource reminder number 3 is the textbook. It's chapters 9 and 10 specific there, where they talk about off-season planning, post-season checklists, some team management, preparation for the season, and then the appendix. So use these resources as in-text citations to give your system, your evaluation methods credibility. If you're still kind of confused with how to use evaluations and the importance of them, everything we do in the course is some form of assessment, and the portfolio is your kind of your final assessment and evaluation tool that we use. Remember, the templates act as an illustration for all the 3 different parts of the season. You must first describe your template with a thesis statement and then support it by citing a reference for each of the 3 different seasons or parts of the season. Make sure to reference price properly, cite within it, and then we'll reference list it at the end. Again, as I mentioned, the templates are Word docs, so you can just copy and paste and put those, type in your pieces and put those right, embed those right into your final portfolio. Make sure they fit into your document, your final document, because you can only upload 1 on Canvas. So make sure everything manages and formats well before you upload your final project. One more review. What is a coaching portfolio? Again, it is not a paper. It's a working resume where you're going to provide insight for us as you as a coach and as a person. It reflects your leadership philosophies and gives us an idea of how you're going to not only teach, but how you're going to manage and develop ethics and coaching of life. Again, it's how you want to build your program and demonstrates and supports your philosophies. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Tell me what you want to do as a leader. Cite it then with credible sources to support that position, and then give concrete and clear illustrations of how you're going to do it. To have some fun here, one last look at sport You can see it's kind of crazy, so you can click on YouTube of the bad or the sad side of sports with parents, and then you can look at managers going wild. So the idea of the portfolio is for you to get prepared to deal with the craziness that's involved. Thanks.